Within the next 2 weeks that you're about to see within this episode, I don't have any major plans. So that is good for the sake of my weight loss goal, as I can have like tunnel vision like focus towards what it is I'm trying to achieve. And you're also going to see like the smaller daily, weekly habits that I'm also doing and repeating consistently that are helping me get to where I want to be in regards to the weight loss goal. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of the episode. So today was probably the first time in a good few days now where I had some serious temptations. There was fried chicken available. And if you know me, you know my favorite food is fried chicken, that and sushi. I didn't know there was going to be fried chicken, so I couldn't plan for it. It was really tempting. It looked great. And I was going to have some, but then you know what I thought? I've already had 2 inconsistent days this week. And if I'm to have a third inconsistent day in the same week, then I'm pushing it. So I just said no. Stuck with what I originally had planned, and maybe I'll have it tomorrow because tomorrow is Monday, it's a new week. But you know, I'm not trying to have 3 inconsistent days in the same week. Basically what I'm saying is that we are going to have to say no sometimes. It's just part of the journey. I'm only going to speak about the last week specifically because the last 2 weeks were already covered in the October part 1 video. I had 2 inconsistent days. Inconsistent days on the consistency calendar aren't necessarily a bad thing because I want to have them for the sustainability of the process. But last week I probably had an extra one. Was it needed? I don't know. I had it anyway because the temptation was there, and the fact that I didn't have one in the first week of October was a huge factor into that. I've hit my cardio goal, hit 4 training sessions. Step goal was like marginally hit again on most days. But otherwise, straightforward week. Drop on the scales again, so we're not changing anything. No update on measurements. I've had some good consistency. I had a scale weight low so far. Like I had the lowest I had weighed on this weight loss journey since I started the vlog series of, it was a low of 83.7 kg. And you know, obviously that's good to see because I'm making progress. But since that day, which was about halfway through last week, today is Tuesday, it's not gone that low again. It's just like gone up and then it's stayed up, like in the mid 84s, low 84s, around there. And now I know this can be frustrating to go through because chances are you have been through it. This is where a lot of people give up, again, potentially you included, but I want you to know this is normal. This isn't unusual. This can go 2 ways. It goes back down and you'll realize, oh, like, okay, I just had to keep being consistent. Or I actually do plateau. What's the worst case scenario? I'm not in a rush. I don't have a deadline, there is no pressure on me, and there's no pressure on you either. It's, if anything, at times it's the arbitrary pressure that we put on ourselves that make this hard. I adjust my plan, that's it. That's all I need to do. If I actually plateau, I adjust my plan, I do slightly more steps, and eat slightly less calories. Then be consistent with that for a week or 2 and things will start to happen again. Don't panic, okay? And if anything, I do expect my weight to plateau at some point within this weight loss vlog series. So if it does happen now, that's great, because then it can be an educational time for you. So I just thought I'd come on here quickly to explain why I'm doing home workouts, and basically the reason is just because I don't have access to a car right now. Now, it's worth mentioning 2 things. I'm only going to not have access to a car for about a week and a half, so it's not that long. And the second reason is because I'm not going to walk there because the walk is about an hour one way. So obviously there and back, that's 2 hours. And then, you know, if I go to the gym 4 times in a week, that's 8 hours just of walking, and I'm not down for that. If I was struggling to hit my steps, then maybe I'd consider it, but I'm not struggling to hit steps either. So I've got good enough equipment at home. Adjustable dumbbells, a barbell, resistance bands, pull-up bar, a bench. There's more than enough that I can do here. And my cardio, instead of being on the treadmill, I'm just going to be doing skipping, which, by the way, the skipping that you saw me do the other day, my calves were sore as hell after that. another consistent week. Measurements, took them again today, and I've seen another drop. That's 5 drops in a row. Consistency calendar's looking good again. I had an inconsistent day this week, not because I had an untracked meal, not because I missed a workout, but because I actually forgot to track something, which I then remembered at the end of the day when I was like, oh whoops, I forgot to track that, and now I've gone over my calorie goal. But it's only taken me over slightly, like only by 50 calories over my goal. But as I said, I needed to draw the line somewhere for the sake of my consistency calendar, so I am going to still count it as an inconsistent day. Now, on another note, I feel like my scale weight has been going down like really fast. Maybe not this past week. This past week was more or less around maintenance, but every single week before that, I had been seeing pretty fast drops. And that, in addition to the fact that my measurements have gone down every single time I've taken them, just means that I feel like this is going a bit fast, which it's not wrong, especially because I do feel like I'm eating a decent amount of food, but I know I can eat more and still see progress. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to change my calorie goal and increase it to 2,300. So not a drastic difference, but it does give me the chance to enjoy slightly bigger portions of what I'm already eating, which I know is only going to make the process more enjoyable for me.
So I just wanted to come on here quickly and say that this t-shirt that you see me wearing right now, my mates got it for me over a year ago on my birthday. And when I first tried it on, it did not fit, it was too tight. I even tried it on, I think in like May, March, maybe even July. It was still too tight. And then today I came across it again and I thought, you know what, let me try it on quickly. I tried it on and it fits now. So that is literally progress.
As you know, the other day I increased my calories by about 100 calories. And by the other day I mean Monday. Today is Friday. Now, 100 calories doesn't seem like much. I don't think too much of it either. But in regards to the difference it has made to both my satiety levels and just like how much extra food I feel like I'm eating because of it, it's been a huge difference. Like I feel a lot fuller. My portion sizes have easily increased and I'm definitely getting an extra snack in. So the difference it's just made is amazing to see. Now, I'm still losing weight this week. I wouldn't say it's got anything to do with the calorie increase. I would say that could potentially be because of what I'd done last week. You know, the body takes time to adjust, so what I'd done last week might be only coming into effect this week, but I definitely do feel like it was a good move from me. And this calorie increase move from me is also further evidence as to why you do not want to be eating as little calories as possible when you're trying to lose weight, when you're trying to be in a calorie deficit, because you think you're going to get results faster, because that only ends up being a binge restrict cycle. You eating as little calories as possible is you restricting, you can't sustain that, then you binge and you eat everything in sight, and then you're just in a vicious cycle of gaining and losing weight. What you in fact want to do is similar to what I've done, which is where eat as many calories as possible while still being in a calorie deficit, because a calorie deficit is weight loss, and for as long as you keep eating as many calories as possible, you will lose weight. And if you have no idea how many calories you should be eating, then I'm going to leave my calorie calculator from my website in the caption of this video, so you can click that link and find out for yourself. I like to finish every single weight loss vlog episode with either me like covering a popular question that I may have been asked over the last 1 or 2 weeks, or a topic that I feel like you need to hear. And in today's episode, I'm going to finish off with a very important topic that I think is important for you to know, and that's the fact that you need to start using more than one indicator of progress when it comes to your weight loss journey. Because a common mistake I see is most people, potentially you included, when you struggle with your weight loss journey, chances are it's because you only ever took one indicator of progress. That's usually just scale weight. Not only are you just taking scale weight, but you're also doing it wrong. And when I say you're doing it wrong, it's like you're just doing it once in a blue moon, you're not taking averages, you're comparing scale weight like Monday to Tuesday, which isn't what you want to be doing, because the body takes a lot longer than one day to adjust. You need to start looking at averages, you need to start taking weekly averages, you need to start taking long-term trends, similar to what I've been doing throughout this entire weight loss vlog series. So that's number one. Now, one thing I do want to say for scale weight and measurements as well, this is good because I'm going to speak about measurements next, is that you want to do it in a consistent state. And by that I mean just a state that's going to eliminate any potential factors that could impact the reading, like hydration levels, how much you've eaten, if you need to use the restroom. And the most consistent way you can like minimize variables having an impact on measurements and scale weight is by doing it in a consistent time, which I would say the best time to do it is upon waking up, after using the restroom, before you've eaten or drank anything. I would say you need to start taking measurements as well. In 3 different locations. I've only just been doing the belly button, but belly button, hips, so the widest part of the glutes, or your leg or chest, depending on maybe whatever you care about most. And then take measurements every 2 weeks. And then ideally you wouldn't compare it on back-to-back measurements as well, you'd like compare it month to month. So that's just something else to bear in mind. Other potential indicators of progress pictures, a very good one to use. I feel like if you start a fitness journey and you don't like take starting photos, then you miss out on a brilliant opportunity. If you're watching this and you didn't take starting pictures, then worry not. Today is the best time to do it. So after you've finished watching this video, go do them. Front, back and sides in a well-lit room, because trust me when I say there will come a point where you'll start feeling demotivated, you'll start feeling like things aren't happening enough. And then you'll take a look at your progress pictures, you'll see the progress you made from like January until April, and then you'll be like, oh wow, like I've made a ton of progress. Yeah, I was probably just getting a little bit in my own head there. Like seeing that has motivated me, and I'm gonna keep going now. And it's just like a really great way to motivate you. So progress pictures, measurements, scale weight, and another things you wanna be aware of is how old clothes are fitting. Are your habits improving? I feel like those two are really overlooked. And strength gained, because there's nothing more empowering than you being able to get your first chin up, doing an X amount of push-ups if you've never been able to do them before, getting your first dip, deadlifting a specific amount, squatting a specific amount. So if you're not thinking or worrying about your strength training, then trust me when I say you more than anyone will get the most benefit from starting your strength training. You need to start. And ironically, it's probably going to be one of the best things you can do for your weight loss goals, because more muscle is more metabolically demanding. So otherwise, to summarize, make sure you're taking scale weight, make sure you're taking measurements once every 2 weeks, make sure you're taking progress pictures once a month. Be very conscious of how old clothes are fitting, be conscious of the habits you've picked up. Start strength training if you're not already, and if you are, keep going. Set some performance goals for you to aim for, because performance goals are very motivating and they will help contribute to your fat loss goals more than you think. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Take care, and I'll see you around.